Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 31st of January 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, surprisingly weak retail sales figures in December triggered a surge on the S&P ASX 200, helping it reach a 9-month high this morning. But from there, it was mostly downhill, and by the end of the day, the market was down 5 points to finish at 7,477 points. Among the large caps, diversified miner South32 dropped nearly 3% to $4.54. REA Group was off nearly 2% to $124.99, and gold digger Newcrest Mining fell 1.3% to $22.25. The lithium stocks also fell, led by Allkem, which was down nearly 8%. Mining services group Mineral Resources fell more than 4%. The retailers really were the standout, with Woolworths up 3.5% to $35.98, and Coles Group up 2.3% to $17.79. Sleep apnea group ResMed closed 2.4% higher after being up and down quite a bit in recent sessions. In corporate news today, Beecher Energy cut its estimated gas reserves at its LNG export basis near Perth, but said it could still fulfil contractual obligations. Its share price ended slightly lower. Heavily shorted stock Megaport fell 24% to $5.82 after second quarter earnings fell short of investor expectations. That was easily the worst performer among the large caps. Bubs Australia fell 11% after second quarter China revenue fell 66% as prolonged COVID-19 lockdowns caused significant disruption. Property group Vicinity Centres will make acting chief executive Peter Huddle its permanent boss following the completion of a global search. Its share price dropped 1%. And finally, beauty retailer BXW downgraded its sales and changed its earnings guidance just weeks after returning to the ASX on the back of accounting irregularities. Its share price fell another 14% yesterday and has gone from $4.50 just before Christmas to 21 cents. Story number 2, business groups are urging the opposition and Greens to pass the government's carbon trading scheme legislation. Both the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and AI Group have called on politicians to pass the bill to provide business certainty. ACCI Chief Executive Andrew McKellar says the legislation, which is an upgraded version of the safeguard mechanism created under the coalition, is the best way to secure planning and investment to decarbonise the economy without sacrificing reliability or affordability. Story number 3, battery minerals miner IGO Limited has unveiled a 6-fold increase in profit, and that's thanks to lithium. But that couldn't prevent a 7.6% fall in its share price. Even though it cut nickel production, IGO announced a big jump in its half-year dividend. IGO transformed itself in 2020 when it bought a stake in Australia's best lithium mine and the nation's first battery-grade lithium processing plant. As a result, lithium was easily the biggest contributor to the $591 million half-year result. The result was a long way from the $91 million half-year profit for the same period last year. The 14 cents a share interim dividend was almost triple last year's 5 cents. But lithium stocks aren't popular at the moment, hence the sell-off in IGO. Story number 4, AMP Bank has picked up the home loan business of neobank Nano Digital Home Loans. In Nano Digital's case, the fintech said it couldn't secure enough money to grow, so was shutting its mortgage books, and somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion worth of home loans will end up with AMP. Some non-bank lenders have found it harder to compete with the big banks as rates have risen because their cost of funding is higher. Now, banks have been very innovative. In Nano Digital's case, it offered 10-minute home loan approvals, but they've found the going tough. If nothing else, innovators and disruptors in traditional markets like banking force the incumbents to work just that little bit harder. And finally, story number 5, it was a rough night on Wall Street with the tech-heavy Nasdaq suffering its worst day in more than a month, while the broader-based S&P 500 was also down. Apple and Microsoft led the indices lower. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 31st of January 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.